What do you think's harder, living the monotonous life of running multiple businesses and doing the same thing over and over again and going to the office, or dealing with fight camp and the hardship of training every day and pushing your body to the limit? What's a tougher challenge?
Jeez, man, we're getting right into it just like that. Okay, so I would say they have different kinds of stresses. You're exposed to multiple kinds of stress in either sector. You know, if you're in business and you walk into the office and you're dealing with stresses of running a business, that's very personal based. You're always interacting with staff and trying to solve problems. Whereas a fight camp is very much, it's about you and your own mental strength and your own resilience as a person. Because this is one of the amazing things that I experienced in this recent fight camp, is that I've been training like a professional athlete because this is my first pro fight. Not that I wasn't training like a pro before, but this one especially because of the way that it's gone. And I hit a point of maximum fatigue like I've never felt before, you know, and people always encourage to show up when you don't feel like working any harder. They always encourage to show up when you really don't want to. But I had it to a level this time where I came into the gym, I was sparring, and I was fighting against another pro, Oz, but I was just getting the head boxed off me. And my coach pulled me to one side and he was like, bro, you're not moving how I know you can move. You're flat. There's no snap in your shots. My advice, have a few days off. And that's all I've been doing. That's why I'm here with you today. You know, I had a couple of days off and I feel better than ever for it. So going back to what your question was, I would probably say fight camp is more difficult because it just brings you to a dark place. You know, business doesn't bring you to that dark place where you're questioning your own health, you know, like actual health, whereas fight camp does that, you know?
Well, I think you mentioned stress, which I always think that word's super, super interesting because now I'm doing this YouTube stuff and I'm trying to sound intelligent. I like look up like what words actually mean. And I did a piece on stress because I obviously, with the fight camp and what you're talking about and the internalization, all that sort of stuff, I believe it's extremely stressful. And you hear these other people talk about business being stressful or family life being stressful. It's like, what is stress? What do you consider stress is? And when I Googled it, I'm going to butcher this now, but it's like the response to a life-threatening situation. That's what stress is actually determined as. The idea is that back in the day, when a lion was trying to eat us, it was stressful because stress, it makes you more focused. It makes your muscles stronger. It makes, you see those stories about those women lifting cars off of dying kids, because that's stress. That's that gives you something, right? So the idea that you are stressed when you have problems at the office doesn't actually make sense. I don't know what the actual terminology should be, but people use that word, and I strongly believe in the power of words and the things that we say. And I think saying that you are stressed all the time is a real problem for the average person. Yeah. And they don't understand like how much power that holds. So the way you described it then, like stress dealing with your staff, I'm like, is it stressful, like telling people what to do?
Yeah. Do you know what? You're absolutely right. And I think you could probably add to that and you could say, does it release adrenaline? Does it lead on to more things? Because what does adrenaline do? Because when you release adrenaline, what happens? Classic, you break an arm, you can't feel the pain till afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, you can, but you can't really feel the pain till afterwards, you know? So I would say, yeah, stress doesn't trigger that in the office.
But it does. This is what I think it does. People consider it as stress, and it does trigger adrenaline. And that's why the best, and that's why people get like long-term stress and all this bullshit terminology that they make up in their own mind. But that's why physical exercise is always the answer to stress. If you're feeling stressed, go to the gym, go for a run, because your body needs the physical response. It needs you to act now. Like I in the piece I said something like, you have instant stress, like stress right now, and then you have made up stress,
prolonged or made up stress.
Made up, like you just embedded it in your brain. This is stressful. But if you have instant stress, it's like, okay, I'm stressed, I need to do something, I need to move, I need to run. This lion gonna eat me, I need to run. That's real stress. So your body responds. But then if you put yourself under stress by work, family, all these made up, looking at the future, thinking about the problems, then you build up this tension in your body, and the only way to get rid of it is physical exercise. So again, going back to what we were talking about, that's why I think you're right. I think the fight camp is more difficult because you're actually under stress because someone's trying to box your head off. And that's a scary thing.
It's interesting what you said there, actually, because I think a lot of people would almost mistake stress as well for depression, when someone gets a feeling inside of their body and it's not pleasant, they sometimes mistake it for depression, anxiety, and all these other different emotions or feelings that, you know, one gets. So ultimately, yeah, it helps you deal with, when you experience stress, it helps you deal with things. It puts your mind into fight and flight, doesn't it? This is why I get a cold shower in mornings. I love a cold shower. I know Tate hates cold showers, which surprises me. That does surprise me. But for me, it sends a clear signal to my brain in the morning what I'm about, you know? And it almost reminds you to me in the morning. It's like, right, how are you gonna tackle today? Are you gonna go straight into the ice or straight into the fire and get on with it? Or are you gonna pussy out and stand by the shower, contemplating whether you're gonna step in or not? Because nothing's gonna happen, you know, but it's still quite a shocking feeling, so.
Well, they say the benefits of that, again, is putting your body through hot. I can't stand cold showers. You know, like cryo showers, the ice plunge bath thing. The first time I ever did that was on The Ultimate Fighter, 10 years ago or whatever. And I'll never forget, silly story this, but you probably don't remember. I did The Ultimate Fighter 17, and there was a fighter called Uriah Hall, who became like pretty famous, spinning head kick, one of the most devastating knockouts in Ultimate Fighter history, incredible athlete. And there was a guy called Kevin as well, and he was a jiu-jitsu black belt, super good, but he was like this gangster dude, you know, like Kev was like, he was always trying to intimidate people and get in their heads. And with the Ultimate Fighter, there's 14 of us, but we could all be fighting each other and we all live in a house together. But you have two teams, but the teams end up fighting each other, and it's a real mental battle, right? And we did these ice baths, and no one like enjoyed it, you know what I mean? Like really, it's the first, it was 10 years ago, it was quite a new concept. And I'll never forget, I got in the ice bath, did you do 3 minutes or something like that? I got out, and then Uriah was like, I'm not doing it. He like put his toe in. He's like, oh no, it's cold or whatever. And you just see Kevin, he just walks in like eyeballing Uriah, like looking at him. And he stepped, I can't do the action because I'm on the thing, but he like, I'll do it. He like stares at him and just gets in the water like.
As if to say, I've already beat you, bro.
And then goes, pussy. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I'll never forget it. So since then I started doing that. Well, when I saw that and I saw Kev, like, he was like, pussy. I was like, no, I'm not, I'll do it. So I started getting into it.
Yeah.
And I really like, at the UFC PI, they have like a hot jacuzzi and a freezing cold ice thing or whatever. So you go from super hot to super cold. And it feels great. But cold showers can suck a dick. I'm not doing that. They're horrible.